MVP.com to book your party today. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Live from Amerant Bank Arena. A couple hours early, the Stanley Cup Game 1 is in Edmonton, but we're up at Sunrise, Florida, having a great time here. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Stanley Cup Final Game 1 is tonight between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. This is the second year in a row that these two will play, and Edmonton is playing with a mission now, and Florida's got to defend their crown. So a lot riding on it, and the Florida Panthers are going to have a superb watch party throughout the night here at Amerant Bank Arena. We got a band setting up right in front of us, and we got you right here on ESPN 106.3 for the next 2 hours on your radio dial. Also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. We got Theo Dorsey, who's going to do some specialty programming leading right up to puck drop 6 to 7:30, also on ESPN 106.3 from here as well. So looking forward to that. Got a packed 2 hours. Happy to have you aboard here. Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo. Christian Catt is back in West Palm at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. He's going to keep us up over the airwaves there. And we get the Stanley Cup tonight. Finally, because for some reason both the professional sports leagues decided to have like a 6-day hiatus after each of their conference finals ended early, because Edmonton was a quick series, the Florida Panthers and the Hurricanes was a quick series. You know, the Pacers and the Knicks went to 6 games fine, and then you had the OKC Thunder, who made easy business of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then you have 6 days off before you start these final series.
Wait a minute. You're not enjoying your baseball?
Oh, this is great.
What do you mean? You're not enjoying your baseball?
Thank God Thibodeau got fired.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Thank God Thibodeau got fired.
Oh, gosh.
But finally now we're going to have some playoff action. We're going to decide who crowned a champion. And this is an interesting series for a couple of reasons. Number one is the Florida Panthers. Now, we've talked about it a little bit last week, flirting with a dynasty. If you get to 3 straight Stanley Cups, let's say you win 2 of them, or you're flirting with that categorization of being a dynasty. Number 2 is it's hard to defend that cup, and it's hard to defend that cup against a Canadian team. Speaking of which, a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup in basically 30 years. And you're going to have an opportunity now where Edmonton, who has the best player in hockey in Connor McDavid, and they got something to play for, and they're on a mission. And right now, playing really, really good hockey. This is a clash of titans that we're going to have tonight with Game 1.
It reminds you a little bit of the Panthers last year with Edmonton, if you're being completely honest. Like, the Panthers got a taste of being in the Stanley Cup and lost. Then they came back next year, flying like hell all across the ice and won it. Now, I understand.
Something to prove.
I understand it went to a Game 7. And let's give Edmonton their proper credit last year for being down 0-3 and pushing it all the way to a final indecisive game here in Sunrise, Florida. But Edmonton, I think, is a hungry team. And the Panthers need to be careful because I think you got a player chasing glory in McDavid. Draisaitl is also a great player as well, as all Panthers know. And I think how the overlying theme for me in this, I agree with you that if the Panthers win 2 in 3 years, it is a dynasty. If they don't win this year, I don't think we could call it a dynasty. But at the same time, I think both of these teams are set up for the future. I think both of these teams are set up for playoff runs to come. And I think we're going to be seeing these teams in the playoffs year in and year out. Now, I can't sit here and say I have a favorite yet. I got to see them come out onto the ice because I think the Panthers kind of ran through that Eastern Conference outside of Florida for a couple of games. And then Edmonton, who got tested a little bit in the Western Conference. So I want to see the game tonight as I make my opinion here. But I think that with a player chasing glory in McDavid, I don't want to say advantage Edmonton. I think that'd be a little unfair, but I kind of lean that way right now before Game 1.
He's looking for his moment. Connor McDavid is by and large the best player in hockey. I don't think anybody denies this. He's the most important player at the moment in the National Hockey Association, the league. Because of that, I would say that he's looking for that moment. Wayne Gretzky lost to the Islanders in '84 and then went back and won in '85. It was Sidney Crosby did the same thing, came back and won that second time around. Great players have these types of moments. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying the clock is ticking with him, but eventually somebody that good is going to have that moment. So part of me thinks that because of that momentum, that timing, listen, I like the Florida Panthers. I'm going to root for the Florida Panthers here, but part of me thinks that the stars are aligning here for Edmonton.
And like I said, it reminds me a lot of the Panthers last year. You got to taste the glory.
It's hard to defend that. It's hard to defend that cup.
It is. And I think, what do you think of home ice? Edmonton
Starting
in favor this year with home ice.
Yeah.
It was home ice to the Panthers last year.
Right. I mean, it depends. The idea is you're going to want to steal one on the road. But the thing is, these are two different hockey teams in the sense that Florida's probably a little deeper. They probably get a little bit more punch on the second and third lines. But for the Oilers on one hand, like Bobby's going to play well, Bobrovsky's going to play well in goal. But Stuart Skinner, Draisaitl, and McDavid might be the three best players on the ice.
Wow.
And in terms of how they're playing right now. Because of that, this is going to have to be a death of 1,000 cuts moment if I had to call it today. I think Edmonton's going to come out hard tonight. I think they're going to come out strong, and they're not going to want to dance the same dance they danced last year and falling down early. I think they're going to really try to punch them in the mouth early on in this series.
We have conversations all the time with playoffs and playoff series. Win one on the road, right? Split. If you're the Panthers, win one on the road within these two games, bring it back home, and see where that takes you. Now, Zach Hyman isn't going to be playing for the Oilers. That's kind of a big loss for them. I think a lot of people, hockey heads are thinking maybe advantage a little bit to Florida, maybe that they're without one of their best players. But those three that you mentioned certainly are going to be dictating the pace of the game. But I love the ambush style of hockey by the Panthers, where they're just ambushing the goal. You could blitz a team quickly with the way that the Florida Panthers play. You saw that numerous times in the Toronto series when they were able to just completely outplay the Maple Leafs in a period and just take all hope away. The Panthers are capable of running away with the game, but with the quality that Edmonton has on the ice, I think it's going to be tougher than who we've seen the Panthers play in the past. Like I said, I think we got to give our credit to the Lightning. And I know that the Maple Leafs showed up to an extent, but I think this is the best team that the Panthers have faced so far. And obviously it's a Stanley Cup. It's supposed to be that way. But I think this is the best team. Unlike the NBA, right? It's probably with Oklahoma City, their best test will probably came against Denver. But I truly think these are the two best teams left in the NHL playoffs.
Yeah, when I look at this is, let's think about the body of work between these two teams. You said something interesting about who they have each beaten. The Carolina Hurricanes are nowhere near anybody that the Oilers have played. The Kings are better than the Hurricanes. The Golden Knights are way better than the Hurricanes. And Dallas, with how they were playing in the postseason, is way better than the Hurricanes. I'd even extend that a little bit. Tampa Bay had a good regular season. They were not great in that series against the Panthers. Is that a testament to the Panthers? Maybe. But if you flip that to the Toronto series, who are up 2-0 and leading in Game 3 of the second period, the Panthers haven't been challenged a terrible amount other than that Toronto series. That would make me ever so slightly a little bit nervous. And this isn't a championship-coded, playoff experience team. Yes, I get that. But the idea that the Oilers have beaten L.A., Vegas, and Dallas back-to-back-to-back, they're a little bit more battered and battle-tested coming into the postseason. And I think that's actually going to help them.
Yeah.
I really think that because of who have they beaten recently, I think that's going to make a difference.
I think my heart's telling me that this is going to go 7 no matter what. I think it's going to go 7 because I think the Panthers are going to be able to defend their home ice. I can't say that they're going to win on the road in these first two games, but let's give them credit against the Maple Leafs that you just mentioned, right? They're down 0-2. They were damn near dead by rights in that Game 3, and they found a way to win. This is an experienced bunch that knows how to play with each other. They know each other's tendencies. I think at home, in front of the home crowd, each team is going to show up, and I think that's going to gear up for a Game 7. I said, I don't know where I lean, Kyle. I told you, I don't know where I'm leaning. Like, if I had to pick right now, not seeing Game 1, I probably would lean the Oilers because I think McDavid is chasing immortality. But at the same time, I think both teams are going to play strong at home. I think both crowds are going to be great, and I hope that this is going to be another electric Stanley Cup like we saw last year.
I'm going to say Oilers in 6. That's what my gut says right now. Oilers in 6 will be my prediction.
We might want to keep that down.
Live from Amarin Bank Arena, Oilers in 6 is my official prediction. I think the Panthers are going to play pretty solid, but timing is everything. in the NHL, and I think this is their time. I do think this is their time. You got Game 1 tonight, of course, TNT carrying it throughout, and hopefully tonight we'll see a bunch of Panther fans. I'm gonna gauge the crowd tonight when the Panther fans start strolling in. Are they nervous about the Oilers? Is it that, I guess, we've won the Stanley Cup, we're not afraid of anybody mentality? Yep. Are they going to have something like that? Or is this going to be, hold on, these are, I mean, for lack of a better term, this is a clash of titans right here. Once again, it's hard to win the exact same series 2 years in a row. Mm-hmm. That has got to make a Panther fan nervous. That is bottom line. If you're a Panther fan, you have to be nervous coming into this series.
I'm surprised that both teams made it back. I think it's tougher in hockey comparatively to other sports for both teams to make it back to the same game in the Stanley Cup.
The Oilers are looking for blood. I don't know if that's the same thing with the Panthers. The Panthers are thinking, don't let them swing too hard with a haymaker early.
But isn't there something to be said about been there, done that, and knowing what it takes? And
it's hard to repeat.
3 years in a row.
It's hard to repeat. That's the idea.
I know Edmonton, this is their second year, but 3 years in a row, too. I mean,
it's hard to repeat. Yeah. So the one I would agree with you in the sense that if they were that much better than them, but I don't know if they're that much better than them. I think this is going to be a very tricky series to win. I think you're going to have to win one early, and I think you're going to have to draw blood on the early part. Do a little bit of what you did last year. You got to, in my opinion, post Game 3, you got to be up 2-1.
And you think the momentum is with Edmonton because
you got to be up 2-1. Yeah,
because of the battle testedness in the West.
I think, and
with
also
the Dallas
series
timing.
I think they're a little bit, and you could say that the Florida might be the best team in hockey right now, but I think top-end talent favors the Oilers, and I think timing and a little bit of momentum might favor the Oilers as well. That would make me lean Edmonton right now. 888-760-3776, number to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo. Stanley Cup Game 1. What is our series prediction? Do we think Panthers in 7 once again? Do we think Panthers easy this time around? The Oilers going to strike early, 8 p.m. tonight, puck drop on TNT. What is your series prediction between the Oilers and the Panthers? You're going who in 7?
I'll go Panthers.
You go Panthers
I'll go
in 7.
Panthers in 7. I think they win in Edmonton, and I think that their experience being in their third straight Stanley Cup kind of overcomes Edmonton. And I think there's something, Kyle, I think there's something to be said about that curse. I think there's something to be said about that Canadian curse, mate.
If there's a year to lift it, it might be this year. They won the Four Nations. They've had
it's the theme, magic, and mojo towards Canada right now. That Three Nations win, I'm still hurt about that, by the way. I'm still gutted that the United States didn't.
So because of that, it's been 1993. The Montreal Canadiens was the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup. 32 years. 32 years.
But is it that they're cursed? They're cursed.
And what better Gretzky moment would be for Connor McDavid to lift that curse off of that entire country? I wonder if Canadian fans are rooting for Edmonton.
Hell no. Hell no. They
no
hate
too.
each other,
I
right?
would say no as well. But do you want a Canadian team to win?
I don't.
Not for you.
I don't.
If you're a Toronto native, are you interested in – does that interest you in seeing Florida Panthers win again? If you're a Toronto fan and the Florida Panthers beat you, do you want Edmonton to win or do you want
hear me out on
not
this.
Care?
Every Canada team wants to be that team. So I'm going to say no, they're not rooting for them. The Maple Leafs hope that they're the ones to do it. Ottawa probably hopes they're the ones to do it. Winnipeg, or is it Winnipeg?
Winnipeg.
Thank you. Is probably hoping that they're the team to do it.
I mean, maybe.
Vancouver.
I could hear that.
They want to be the one to break the streak.
Maybe they just want to get the cloud away from under them. I don't know.
They want to be the ones.
If there was a Canadian listening in, 888-760-3776 who is a non-Edmonton Oiler fan, if you're a Canucks Calgary Flame fan, if you're something like that, if you're Montreal, I understand the rivalries attached, but does part of you root for a Canadian team to knock off an American team here? Let us know. 888-760-3776. Get back into the promised land. I'm curious about that. The thing is, if I was a Canadian fan, now I don't have the rivalries because I'm not born and bred in it. I don't know how much Toronto hates Edmonton or how much Montreal hates Vancouver. I don't have a gauge for that because I haven't grown up in these areas. But part of me thinks that I would root for a Canadian team here. I would root for a Canadian team.
That would
be important for me.
still
888-760-3776. Do the Canadians root for a Canadian team?
I wouldn't see now the Maple Leafs and Montreal are bitter rivals.
Yes, of course. I know the rivalries
I don't think that, say Montreal was in this position or Toronto was in this position, I don't think either of those teams would be rooting for each other.
It's from the original six.
Listen, I told you, I think there's something real there with that curse. That's why I'm leaning Florida in this. But at the same time, I don't think these teams are rooting for it because they want to do it. They want to be the team that bring NHL Canada back to glory. They want to be the ones to hoist up Lord Stanley.
I don't know about that. It's been 30 years.
I still
Let's
think.
get this done.
Yeah,
they won the Four Nations. They're a fan of each other then. How about that?
Well, yeah, they
can compartmentalize then.
Listen. That reminds you a little bit about basketball, right? I sports hate the Boston Celtics. But at the same time, I'm a root for Celtics players when they're wearing red, white, and blue. I think that's kind of what that is. You put your allegiances aside and you put one of the more important things in life.
All American cities, but this is about pride of country. So that's exactly what we're talking about. This is pride of country here.
No, it's not.
It's Canada versus the USA.
I don't know. I like you said, I can't speak for Canadians. I don't think they think that way. I just don't think they think that way.
I think they should. If they don't, I think they should.
You're going to tell Canadians how to live, Kyle?
Yeah, I think you should. I think you'd be smart to root for Edmonton here. Let's get that cloud away from Canada. Let's get back to the promised land.
Is McDavid the best player in the league, by the way? Not even close?
By a considerable margin. He is.
Not even close.
Not even close. Live from Amerant Bank Arena, that's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. It's Russo and Rizzo. Taking a time out here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
It's Tina. You know how important it is to keep your car running. And when it comes to my car, I only trust St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been taking care of South Florida for over 50 years, and they're still family-owned. Need new tires? They've got all the big brands. Battery issues? They've got it. Cars, trucks, boats, RVs, and even commercial fleets. And if you ever get stuck, their 24/7 roadside emergency service is a total lifesaver. Go see my friends at St. Lucie Battery and Tire, slbt.com. They'll keep you going.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. Classes start June 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Progressive understands that bond between you and your boat. But imagine if something happened to it. Without the boat, you're just Tina with too much boat knowledge. Sure, it's helpful on the water, but with no boat, you're someone who talks way too much about knots, and no one cares what a jib is anyway. Boat Tina could get away with it because she has a boat. So make sure your boat is insured. Get Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer, and then go back to being you, Tina, who owns a boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 24 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and Men's Lacrosse title. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs. Time to start getting your ride ready for summer. Stop by the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs and try out one of our best wash packages, the Ultimate Plus. It gives you everything your car needs inside and out, including our ceramic graphene coating. Or try one of our unlimited monthly plans, starting as low as $34.95 a month, or with inside and out plus tire shine starting as low as $49.95 a month. Visit any one of our 6 convenient locations or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, if you've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys are the type to fight for you. They don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. They're the best in the business for a reason. Don't waste any time. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine, because all it takes is one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for the free consultation today. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo with you. It's Russo and Rizzo over on ESPN 106.3. We've seen a little bit of the fallout of the Tom Thibodeau firing, but then Adam Silver goes on Fox this morning and decides to, I guess, alleviate some of that negative publicity. And what does he announce? He announces that the the All-Star Weekend is changing. What we all called for all those weeks ago is he is now officially changing it from East to West to Team USA versus the world. And he made that official announcement. He's following the NHL's blueprint of how they did it, and which was an unresounding success. And now the NBA is going to try to replicate that same buzz, that same intensity. I don't know if they'll be able to do it, but this was easily the right move.
It was the right move. I wonder on the world side, because let's call it for what it is. The NHL thing worked because it was a specific
love of country.
Yeah, I don't know if that works on.
Giannis won't care. You know what it is? They're relying on the international players to spite the American players for not anti-American.
Here's the thing.
I don't want to put it like that.
Hang on. I think they'll care. But is the rest of the world going to – and I know it's only about the continental United States in the end of the day.
Yeah, they want to show that basketball is bigger outside the U.S.
Is the rest of the world going to care about being a part of the world team? I guess everything in basketball is against the United States. Like, remember the Redeem Team in 08. By the way, I think the Redeem Team, greater sign, Dream Team, neither here nor there. I think the Redeem Team set the tone for United States basketball to rule and those players to rule for years to come. Colin, if you ask me right now, U.S. will lose. They'll lose. If Curry and LeBron take it serious, they might be able to win. They might be able to win if Curry and LeBron take it serious, and that's a big might. And even if they play in it, remember, LeBron didn't play in the All-Star game last year. But LeBron is, when you think of Team USA basketball, who do you think of? You think of LeBron James.
The thing is, world is the three best players in the league.
They do. And even past that, I think their role players could be significantly better than the United States role players. Is Anthony Edwards going to care? I
got to imagine they will, but I don't know how good it will be from the – or do you have to financially incentivize on top of it? Do you have to give them money on top of it?
That's a joke if they have to. Can I say something?
Is it?
That's a joke if you put country on the line and they play for money.
This is not the Olympics.
Come on, the hockey guys got behind it. They should be able to get behind it too.
Will do it. You can't compare
Why?
NHL players to NBA players because they don't operate the same. That's just the bottom line.
It's a joke. Your country's on the line. Your pride's on the line. Wake up.
Yeah, hold on. It doesn't matter. Get out of it. You're not winning for a medal here. You're not going against the other countries. This is not the Olympics. You saw,
and I want to make this point too. What is Team USA in the what was it? The FIBA? Did they finish like fourth? They were without Curry. They were without LeBron. They were without Durant. They finished in like fourth.
The in-between years, the NBA players don't give a crap. They only give a crap when the Olympics come around.
So perfect. We're going to get embarrassed.
I don't know.
We're going to get completely.
I don't know.
These I almost said spoiled brat NBA players. I'm almost to that point. If you're telling me they're not going to care about their country, it's shame on them.
The good thing is this is a one-night, two-night thing. It's a weekend instead of traveling somewhere and God knows where across the world trying to play in a FIFA tournament in the thick of the offseason. I understand that, but
LeBron will care. You know what? LeBron will play, he'll care, and he'll make sure we win. Yeah. As long as LeBron is still around, the United States isn't losing in basketball.
They're going to beg him. If
LeBron, and listen, Christian, I think you might want to chime in on this too. If LeBron is around, okay, I don't think Team USA is losing to anybody in basketball.
So
he's not that much better than everybody else. Go ahead, Christian.
You asked a little bit earlier about whether or not there will be the same motivation for the world team because you're fighting for just not America. Like that's the entire thing you're uniting around is that you're not American.
It's in the spite of America, yeah.
Well, we have this already in sports. Like that is the Ryder Cup. It's Europeans who are not American.
Yeah,
There's they've made a new flag for it, the European flag, and it works. It is kind of a playful anti-American thing that they can get behind. And the reason why it sounds so foreign and so weird is because it hasn't happened in basketball before. So in order to have a tradition around something like you do in golf with the Ryder Cup, you just got to do it more than once, and then eventually it'll catch on. So if it's a half effort, try it once, it didn't really get as much traction as you wanted, you can't just abandon it after year one.
So Christian, if this doesn't work this year, if these players don't care about this year, then we're going with what I want. It's just to end it. Remember, you guys got on my case. You got on my case. You just said the exact
Hang on.
Let me finish. You guys got on my case. How do you fix it? Just end it. All right. Listen, if they put country pride on the line and these guys still don't care, I'm times 15 done with this. I'm already times 2 done with these guys.
Christian just went on a full tangent about how the whole idea is you can't necessarily make conclusions off the trial run, and you got to do it a bunch of times, and hopefully that it will pick up steam year in and year out. And then your rebuttal to that is if year one it's not perfect, let's blow it up.
It's not. Hang on, Christian. Let me rephrase, boys. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want the guys to try. I want them to look like that they want to be out there. They didn't want to be out there for the last about 5 All-Star games. Can we agree on this? That ridiculous game that gets played every year where they charge an arm and a leg.
Yeah, correct. Okay. We need to have whoever wins the theory of a game, this All-Star game in 2026 in the NBA, to rub it in the face of the team who loses. We need to have it to be a 10-point game and Giannis windmill slams over the American defender who's under him and make him feel bad.
Yeah, and then they take the flag from the United States and then parade around with it. That would piss off the Americans.
And they would come back year 2, and this would catch fire.
Would it piss off the player?
Yeah, because you'll embarrass that person individually. Yeah.
It'll hey, boys, piss me off.
You won't watch. No, you're not going to give it a chance. You're already far gone. You will not be watching that game.
I already told you, if LeBron is suiting up in any kind of red, white, and blue, he's not going to let us lose. So let's
if LeBron is standing idly by and not playing in this game. And
then hang on, is Steph playing?
No.
Is Durant playing?
Yes.
Might have a chance with KD. If one of those 3 are playing, the old guard.
I don't think that your question's a lot about the Americans. I think it's really about the Europeans. Or the world, I should say. But it's not fair to say because if those guys try, and there's no guarantee that Jokic will try, there's no guarantee that Antetokounmpo will try. If those guys try, they will beat the Americans full strength, full try.
Those 3 that I just named, Curry, Bron, Durant, they have the most experience playing in red, white, and blue. And they, I think, take a tremendous amount of pride for putting on that red, white, and blue jersey and making sure we don't get embarrassed on a national level at our own game.
I can see it now. I can see it right now. Anthony Davis getting posterized in the garbage time minutes of the All-Star game. LeBron's at home watching from his couch, and he sees America treated like that, or at least the American basketball players treated like that. He'll get off his butt. He'll play the next year if he's still in the league. That's the motivation. Getting embarrassed.
That guard, and this goes back to the face of the league garbage that everyone talks about. The guard
listen, you're pulling it off on everybody else when you've brought it up more than anyone else.
You just brought it up.
The guard of Durant, Curry, Bron. I have no faith in the next crop of young American players. No faith.
The point being,
I'm banking on Cooper Flag.
Full strength, full try. The world is going to beat the Americans. They're just better players. That's it. That's the bottom line.
And Christian, that's unacceptable.
Yeah,
it's unacceptable.
Well, you better accept it.
It's unacceptable. You can't lose a basketball.
We're going to have to accept it for the next 15 years.
This is not the Olympics.
Like. Can't lose a basketball,
This is not
guys.
losing to Spain. This is losing to everybody else collectively.
This is
still losing to Spain.
Still
the
a tough
Avengers.
scene.
It's the Avengers, and we're Thanos.
Still a tough scene, Christian. Still a tough scene to lose in basketball to anybody that's not named the United States.
I wouldn't say that about basketball. I would say that about baseball or football.
Now,
those are the 2 sports we just simply can't lose at.
Well, football is, American football, there's no competition. But NHL, MLB, the country tournaments have seemed to work. The hockey was a tremendous success. I loved the World Baseball Classic, and I'm still salty that Japan, took home the glory in that tournament. But we all agree that it was successful. This needs to be successful for the NBA. I think this tournament needs to be successful for the NBA because comparatively to all the other leagues,
comparatively to what?
To the World Baseball Classic, to the NHL stuff that happened.
All right, this is just a game. This is just the All-Star game.
Yeah,
to
the
try to
World
make it
Baseball
interesting.
Classic is an entire. It's a weeks-long tournament. It's a little different. You're talking about an All-Star weekend versus an actual international event. But I understand the idea. You can compare it to the Four Nations. The Four Nations captivated. They were there first. I think that's going to make a difference. And I don't know if the NBA is going to be able to replicate that because everybody's sort of tuned out on it. But I think if you get players for the first time, you get a little smack talk. They're the ultimate marketers. You got a bunch of guys with huge followings. I think if you do a little of that, you play it smart. I think it has a chance to be pretty good. But I would say full strength. I'm not saying this is any sort of debate. But I would just say full strength if everybody were to try, and I think there would be more of a question mark to the world trying comparatively to USA. If they all tried, the world has better players. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah, and what, you guys, it's Tyrese Halliburton going to bail us out?
You can't say that about him. He's playing tomorrow night. You can't say that about him.
Is Anthony Edwards going to bail us out?
No.
I have no faith in the new crop of player in the United States. No faith.
I mean, the idea is that the world has the three best players right now. Period. Done. That's it. They got the three best players. Probably soon to be fourth with Wembanyama.
We need Cooper Flagg to be the coolest thing since sliced bread in this league, boys.
That's what they need?
That's what we need. That's what I need. I need a good American in this league.
Well, there is good Americans in this league. He's playing tomorrow night. Starts with point guard at the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, but is he the guy that puts you over the edge in the world game? I don't think so. I think he gets bottled with the best players in the league.
It's a little early to determine how he'll get a game planned against the world. I'm
already breaking down X's and O's,
I think
Kyle.
the idea is that this is a successful move. This was a good move. It generates a little bit of buzz, and I think this is the only option that the NBA really had at their disposal to try to add to the allure of what it would be, of what the All-Star Weekend could be. I think this is the best possible outcome. Now you got to see if the players will resonate. Now you got to see if the players will step up to the plate, so to speak. But this was the right move. This was the right add-on. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, of course, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. We're going to take a time out here, live from Amerant Bank Arena, where we're going to have a watch party for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, 8 p.m. TNT. You got Theo Dorsey, who's going to be live from 6 to 7:30 with a couple special guests to break down the early part of Game 1 of the Stanley Cup. But we're at Amerant Bank Arena having a good time. We got a band setting up right in front of us, taking a time out here, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Duffy's Sports Grill is raising a glass to the class of 2025. Every graduation deserves a party, and Duffy's is the place to celebrate. Reserve your spot now and let Duffy's handle it all. With private party spaces, party platters, and custom menus for groups of 12 or more. Plus, now through June 15th, get a $10 MVP bonus for every $50 in gift cards you grab. Level up your graduation at Duffy's. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to book your party today. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Recently, I had the opportunity to sit down with Dr. Berkjan Akbanar, who operates out of Good Samaritan Health Center through the Palm Beach Health Network. And he explains there are a plethora of ways that you could rehab after surgery.
Mixing that treadmill up with stationary bike or elliptical, and then some resistance training as well to not exhaust the same set or constellation of muscles. We start all patients with physical therapy and then oral non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medications if they can tolerate it. And then we kind of escalate it in a stepwise manner to injections. And we have a variety of different viscosupplementation options, including steroid injections, gel injections, and things like PRP if necessary.
That was Dr. Berkjan Akbanar from the Palm Beach Network Physician Group. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362 or go online to pbhnphysiciangroup.com.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo rolling on here from Amerant Bank Arena down in Sunrise, Florida. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final on TNT in Edmonton on 8 p.m. But we're live here for the watch party, which the Panthers are hosting tonight. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter /X at ESPN West Palm. Adam Silver did his rounds on Fox today. He said a couple of things. Number one, he said that they are shifting to a Team USA versus the World All-Star format. And number two, he said something else that was interesting. He said, quote, if we're going to the Super Bowl and it was Packers versus Steelers, you guys would celebrate that, when asked about two small market teams in the NBA Finals. Adam Silver feels the need. This is how you know the NBA thinks they're going to get bad ratings. If Adam Silver is doing his run-through of FS1 talk shows and he's trying to convince everybody that the Packers and the Steelers, mind you, two franchises that are the 4+ titles apiece, two of the most historic franchises in the NFL's history, can be compared to the small market teams that Indiana and Oklahoma City are. Adam, please. The Packers won the first Super Bowl in the history of the NFL. The trophy is named after a Packer coach. The most storied, the most historic stadium in the NFL is in Green Bay. The Packers might be a small market in terms of actual size, but in terms of worldwide appeal, they are not a small market team. Same thing goes with the Steelers. Not a small market team.
Do you want to know what's a bad idea? Trying to compare yourself to the NFL. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Like, I understand that Adam Silver's got a little pep in his step because the playoffs have been
trying
halfway
to tell
decent.
people these are not two small market teams. You guys are going at it wrong. Maybe we are going at it wrong.
No, we're not. They're small market teams that nobody cares about. I'm being completely honest. And I would say the same thing about if my Cavaliers were in there. But I have a rooting interest. You know what I'm saying? I'd say the same thing. There's small market teams. No,
you wouldn't say that.
I would say that. I would say that.
You'd convince us that game one's going to do $38 million.
No chance. Come on, guys. You know I'm a realist. I can sit here and be a realist with you guys.
When it comes to your teams, realist?
Yeah.
We sure?
Yes. Yes.
Pacers actually still aren't good, by the way, if you didn't know. Like the Pacers, according to Mike Rizzo, they're not good.
Yeah, are they good yet?
I just don't think there are any good teams in the NBA right now, but that's not
at all.
I don't think at all.
Period.
Comparatively to the period that I grew up with the Spurs, with the Heat, the Cavaliers, the Warriors, the Lakers, the Celtics, These
The
teams aren't
Cavs
good.
who got
These
swept
teams aren't good.
twice in the NBA, or they went.
These teams aren't good, and they also had the best cut. It was the best NBA Finals in the history that they won in 2016.
It was a
so
good.
let's be
It was
honest.
the biggest win. It wasn't the best series. That's the bottom line.
It was the best series.
It was not.
It was the best
Every game
series.
was a blowout, other than Game 7. You talk about 2016.
Down 3-1. Down 3-1.
Well, I know. In terms of a story, every game was a blowout.
Nah, I mean.
Yes, every game was. Every
Game 7.
stunk.
Game 7
Game
was
7
the
was the
blowout.
best NBA game of all time. That I could agree with.
Game 7.
The best NBA game of all time. That I could totally agree with. But that is not the best NBA series of all time.
But yeah, I mean, maybe there is some bitterness there with Indiana still with me. But guys, it's Oklahoma City and Indiana. Adam, let's be honest here. Okay, when was the last? Has Indiana ever won an NBA championship?
It's
Oklahoma
pretty ridiculous
City.
to compare it to the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Please.
Oklahoma City is still the Supersonics to me. Okay, like what are we doing here? What are we talking about?
I mean, please, Adam. Small market teams. You cannot compare the OKC Thunder and the Indiana Pacers going against each other in the NBA Finals comparatively to the Packers and the Steelers. Please, Adam. That is not fair. And Mike's right. Problem number one, don't compare yourself to that league.
Don't try to compete with something that is bulletproof. The NFL.
If it was Jags, let's think of a small market NFC team. If it was Jags, Carolina, you think people would be screaming to the heavens about how great of an Super Bowl it is? That's your example. Packers, Steelers? Adam, please. Oh, my God. People would be rolling over if it was Jaguars, Panthers in the Super Bowl. That's a better example. If it was Jaguars, Panthers, what would we be talking about? Small market Super Bowl. It's not going to do the $100 million. We're all nervous about that. They would bring out, they'd bring back Michael Jackson for that halftime to try to get people to watch that.
Didn't Adam Silver learn anything when the NFL stole Christmas Day from him? They said, you know what? We need games on Christmas. NBA, I know this has been your day for the better half of 35 years, but we're going to play some games on the NFL now. Oh, and by the way, we're going to paywall it on Netflix and these streaming services, and we're still going to do $15 million.
Here's the thing. Jags Carolina is your comparison. This is a Jags Carolina Super Bowl. This is a Jags Carolina NBA final.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
That's what it is.
Now, hang on. Carolina and Jacksonville are newish. Indiana's been around for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So maybe
that's it. This is the comparison. That's it.
The
Jags Carolina.
The Bills would have juice because they've never won.
Buckle up. This is Jags Carolina of an NBA final. If the NFL had, first of all, if the NFL had Jags Carolina in the Super Bowl, two of the smaller market teams, Carolina's not even that small of a metropolitan area. It's not a big sports fan city. If they had those two, Arizona's another one. If they had those two teams in the Super Bowl, they would bring out they'd pay the money to get Taylor Swift at halftime.
I don't think she'd want to do it.
No, they would pay it.
She wouldn't do it.
They would put it in L.A.
I don't think she'd do it.
And they would get Taylor Swift there at halftime. That's how they do it. Instead of complaining and going on Roger Goodell going on FS1 saying, hey, this is similar to, with some of the more historic teams. Silver going on, this is like Celtics-Lakers. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. Instead, they would put Taylor Swift at halftime. Maybe that's what the NBA needs to do. Get Taylor Swift in the middle of Game 2 and see if she could.
Swifty, you want to know what Swifty would say? Kick rocks. She doesn't need the NBA.
You use the money. She
doesn't.
But hold on.
Isn't she a billionaire? I think she's a billionaire.
They throw her $20 million. She's saying yes, Mike.
Nah.
She's going to Indianapolis.
She doesn't need.
She'll be in Oklahoma City before the Crows wake up in the morning.
Taylor Swift could damn near buy the NBA, let alone go
$20
there
million?
for $20 million. Obviously, I'm hollering. She can't buy the NBA. But you understand the point. She almost has enough money to put stake in halfway onto a team.
Point being.
Doesn't need that league.
What is the comparison to Indiana OKC as a finals matchup? It's not Packers-Steelers. That's what Adam
Super Bowl matchup.
As a Super Bowl matchup, you could go a World Series. This is Arizona, and Texas is not even that small market of a team.
This is the Titans and the Panthers. The Titans have had football in Houston for a long time. And the Panthers, on the football side, kind of a
you mean
newer-ish
in
team.
Nashville, or are you talking about the move from the Oilers?
Just in general, that organization. Is that fair? In general, I know that they were in
98.
I
think they moved 98.
Yeah, that's probably what I would compare it to. Or the Chargers. How about the Chargers? Chargers, I know they went from San Diego to L.A., but they've been a thing. It's similar to that.
Chargers, Panthers would be rough.
Brutal.
I mean,
actually, you got Harbaugh. Actually, it wouldn't be rough. Do you want to know why? Because Harbaugh would be going for the college and the NFL sweep of Super Bowl and college football playoff championship.
100 million people are paying attention to whether Harbaugh can knock off the college championship.
It's a storyline.
I know there's a storyline.
Herbert probably played unreal to get to that point, too. Listen to me coming up with a way. That's the problem. I can make any NFL game be the best game ever. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that with the NBA.
Elvis rise out of the floor at that halftime if it was L.A. Chargers, Panthers.
But no.
Elvis would come out of the floor.
But do you not agree with me? With the NFL, you can make any game be the best game ever because it's the NFL. That's my argument. That's my argument.
No, we're not. We're just talking about how the Chargers and Panthers would stink.
I don't know. I still would probably be watching snap for snap. Had bets everywhere.
That's not.
Betting on the anthem.
We're talking about public interest. We're talking about public interest.
Colin, the NBA Finals will never be, at least in my lifetime. Hopefully, got 50 more years on this planet. I don't think that the Super Bowl would be able, or that the NBA Finals will ever be able to be comparable to the Super Bowl. That's why I have a problem with Adam Silver trying to compare leagues. You can't. There's levels, and I understand. I love the NBA. I'm a big basketball fan. All right, it was my favorite sport growing up. But at the same time, you cannot try to compare yourself to the NFL. Can't do it. It's a death sentence.
I agree. But in terms of a unremarkable finals matchup, he said Packers and Steelers. Oh. But read the
Who are the Steelers in this? What NBA team are the Steelers? The 6-time Super Bowl champion
the 76ers. The 76ers are the historic franchise. Historic.
I think he got a little too drunk.
The Detroit Pistons are the Pittsburgh Steelers in this sense.
I think Adam Silver got a little too drunk from the viewership views that happened in the playoffs.
Well, it wasn't great in the Western Conference. It was good in the Eastern Conference. But yeah, you're right.
I think he took his victory lap a little too early.
Yeah, he was maybe. Well, now hold on. He's self-promoting it on TV.
Well,
he might come on our show now. He might come on our show.
We'll have the commissioner on. I know I just body bagged the NBA for about 15 minutes there, but I'll have the commissioner on.
You can ask him.
Am I going to ask him?
Yeah. You got to ask about a couple things there.
I probably
Adam, the Packers and the Steelers, the Indiana Pacers and the Thunder.
You got to ask along the lines of, are you worried? We talk about the style of play all the time. I think the future of the league, the direction of the league. How does he think that he would match up to a guy like Stern? Because Stern's the best commissioner ever. Would you agree on this within the NBA? One of the best commissioners in the sport. So to be the guy after Stern, I think is a tough job in itself. And I wouldn't wish that upon anybody, but I think those are probably the angles you got to go with.
I mean, he was Stern's guy.
It's the same questions of the direction of the league. How do you think? What kind of job you think you've done? Do the players have too much empowerment? I think those are the tough questions that people would be afraid to ask Adam Silver.
I think you'd also have to ask about expansion. You'd have to ask. Well,
the Seattle needs a team. Is there anyone else? They need a team. They need a team.
Is Vegas going to get a team?
So, I think that's LeBron's to have. I think that's LeBron's team to have in Vegas. But
who knows? But you ask about that type of thing? If we got Silver on, not let him parade around saying that it's going to be
Green Bay Packers.
It's Packers Steelers.
He's a big football. Stern, a big Packer fan, huh? Big Squealer fan.
The Packers. It's the most historic. It's the landmark of the NFL stadiums. It's a landmark. It's not fair to say that. It's the landmark.
They have 3 Super Bowls, the Packers?
4. They won in 97, 2010, and then the first 2, 66, 67.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And what do the Steelers have? They have 6? They have 6?
They're tied for the most.
Yeah, they won back-to-back in 70 and 75, 76, and then 71, 72. And then they won the 2 with Roethlisberger.
Right.
How is that fair?
No, it's not.
Adam, let's pick our words a little bit more wisely.
The Steelers are like the Lakers. The Celtics or the Steelers are like the Celtics. Boston and the Lakers are like the Packers. Like that's your that's your,
Cowboys
your
are probably the Lakers.
But the Lakers are one more recent. I'm trying to go recency bias, but I understand the point.
Like in terms of market, brand,
who's America's team in the NBA? Is it the Lakers or the Celtics? Probably go Lakers.
It's whatever team LeBron's on. That's America's team.
The King.
That's it.
You talking about the King?
You can't talk about it like teams. It's whatever team he's on.
That's why I think
Cavaliers, where they've got 38 primetime games when LeBron's there, and all of a sudden that trickles down to 12 when he leaves. He is America's team. It is not a franchise. And I know LA is big. LA needs to have a star at all times, but LeBron is America's team. That's the bottom line.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's
why I'm still holding out faith that LeBron's going to dip back into his 25-year-old self for Team USA and beat the world in that ridiculous game that we're going to watch in the
You're acting like LeBron can just decide he wants to be better than everybody. He's 42 years old.
It's Bron. Of course he can.
No, he's 42 years old. He's not better than 7 players that are on the floor with him.
Have LeBron sit out for 10 games to make sure that we win that. You want to know when I'd get behind load management?
Resting up.
You want to know when I'm going to get behind load management with Bron? Is you rest 10 games to make sure you beat the world.
That's it. Then you'd be pleased.
That's it. Then I'll be happy.
Then you'll be happy.
Then I don't care. You can sit out the rest of the year. I don't care about the Lakers.
So you don't want him to play any game except for that one game.
I just want him ready He needs to be ready. He needs to win that game. Our pride. And I told you, Bron significantly cares about playing for the red, white, and blue. I think he might just sit out 10 games to make sure he's ready for that. Curry, too. Curry could do it as well.
Please.
Curry got hurt in the playoffs.
Full strength.
Yeah.
World wins. Easy. But not even a discussion.
The old heads of Durant, Curry, and Bron. And I understand that it was, not the...
A 42-year-old, a 37-year-old, and a 37-year-old.
They got mojo, Kyle.
No, they don't.
They could do it.
No, they do not.
They could do it.
No, they do not.
Yes,
they can do it. Yeah, they're all pros, but
Dude, Bron hasn't aged a day. What are you talking about? LeBron hasn't aged a day.
He has. And we both know that. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. We'll bounce around a little bit. We're live from Merrimack Bank Arena down in Sunrise, Florida. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup, 8 p.m. TNT, Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. We'll loop in Christian Cat into the conversation. We'll do a little 5 at 5. On the flip side, entering in the second hour of Russo and Rizzo right here on ESPN 106.3.
Is your air or water flowing perfectly in your home? If the answer is no, EDS is yes. Theo here, and for me, EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing is my go-to, and it should be yours too. EDS is Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. They'll make sure your air and water flow perfectly. EDS is a train comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. Go to edsisyes.com. That's edsisyes.com. When comfort matters, EDS is yes.
Is your credit on life support? Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Local bank representatives will be on site to grant special approval to consumers who meet certain minimum criteria. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach wants to approve you so you can drive home your new Kia today. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Hello, is this thing on? I repeat, Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic wants to approve you for a new Kia today. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss the credit clinic today and tomorrow at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or go online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval term.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that wants to learn more about careers with Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Elevate your game, elevate your experience. Discover the Club at Lost Lake. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
The Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs with 6 locations, perfect for an occasional wash. Or enjoy unlimited inside and out washes starting at just $49.95 a month. UnlimitedAutoWashClub.com. Call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Wing Wednesday. Brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Tired of your sports commentary sounding like it's been crafted by a toaster with a thesaurus? Say no to AI Sports Radio. Hi, this is Evan Cohen, and nothing beats the thrill of hearing a real human fumble their words live on air. Say goodbye to robotic boredom and hello to the chaos of human error with ESPN 1063.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Live from Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida, where we got a second hour of Russo and Rizzo live here. Having a good time. Mike Rizzo and Colin Russo, Christian Cat with you. We got a band right here setting up shop. We got Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, which is starting at 8 p.m. on TNT tonight. Everybody come on down to Amerant Bank Arena where you can watch the watch party with everybody. Drinks, food, booze, they have it. You name it, they got it. Theo Dorsey will be doing specialty programming from 6 to 7:30 on these airwaves on ESPN 1063. Also, you can listen to the game live on ESPN 1063. So listen to the full broadcast. We got it on the air with our pals over at the Florida Panthers. Game 1, Oilers-Panthers tonight.
And you could do it on the app, too.
You can do it on the app. You can do it on the ESPN app as well. So listen anywhere at ESPN 1063 for some Panthers fix. Christian Cat is our producer behind the glass at the City Place Studios. And again, if you missed any of the program today, listen back, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. You can listen to Russo and Rizzo in full there. Christian Cat, how are you, my friend, back in West Palm? Is everything okay?
Everything's okay. There was free ice cream here today, and you guys missed it.
So I heard about this. That is upsetting. That is upsetting. First
I didn't get any in solidarity with Russo and Rizzo because...
Oh, this is your moment to boycott the happy hour, and you said no?
Yeah. I didn't tell them why, but I said I'm good. No, thanks.
What type of ice cream was it? Was it like, they had a pint and you had to get the scooper out? How'd they
No,
do
it was better than that. It was like the ice cream truck came, where they have like a freezer rolling up and you can pick your poison.
Of like the Chipwiches and everything?
I didn't see it Shipwich in particular, but it was a bunch of flavorful popsicles.
Like the SpongeBob one?
Yeah,
the SpongeBob one's elite.
Yeah, I don't know where this ice cream fairy came from, but
it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's not that great.
You're out of
Strawberry shortcake, that's great.
Yeah.
Ever had those?
Of course. I would have. I'm dieting. I would have passed on the ice cream. Sadly,
I wouldn't have. I would have said yes.
I would have passed on. Well, yeah, you're also, in Iron Man shape over
Hold
here.
on, hold on.
You're amphibious.
I might not make it.
You're an amphibian.
I might not make it.
What do you mean you're not
My
gonna
groin
make it?
injury. I might not make it.
Dude, you had a physical therapist. How about this, Christian? We get done with the show last night, and Christian Cat and I walk outside. Colin Russo has his own personal physical therapist and his bench. What do we call that?
It's the table.
The table, bench.
Yeah,
and he starts
like the
working
padded
on
table
Colin.
that like chiropractors have.
I go. This is a place of work. What are you, Colin? What are we doing here?
We put him in the front. So right when you walk into the studios and the offices of ESPN West Palm, they got like a little, what is it, a mingling area? It's like a lobby essentially.
It's where interns hang out. It's where they're able to do work.
And I just they're luckily Dr. Corbin of Physio Plus helped me out, and
Good
he
shout.
and Christina Costanza, who knows Dr. Corbin well, we had him come by and he set up the table for post show, and that is so funny to me,
dude.
The fact that there was a full-on physical therapy appointment in the studio right after.
Oh, you know what? If we're gonna pass this off as comical, like, it'd be so funny if like a private chef showed up and cooked me dinner tonight. That would be so funny to me.
That's not what that is.
Hysterical.
That's not what that is.
Christian, it'd be
That's not what
hysterical.
that is.
It'd be hysterical if a private chef
That's not what that is.
whipped me up some rice,
You know why?
16-ounce steak,
'Cause
medium
I'm
rare.
the first. I got to be the first person in ESPN West Palm's history to have physical therapy
you are.
inside the studio.
Christian,
so that's fair. I'll take that.
Christian, Colin and I, we talked a little bit post-show. I ripped open the door, saw the dude there with his wife and the table. I just started dying laughing.
And I go, doctor?
I felt
Doctor?
bad. Christian, I couldn't. It was just pure impulse. I opened the door. I just started bursting out laughing.
Well, it was
I
funny.
couldn't help it.
Because it's
I could
funny.
not help it.
Because
You are ridiculous.
The situation is funny.
Go to their office.
Yeah.
Go to their office. Make an appointment. Why is it in the middle of the hallway?
And the people, we have lovely ladies that come through a couple days a week. That
Not
come and
everyone
help
Colin.
and clean, and they help clean.
Brian Rowitz and Christina Costanza don't need to see you getting your groin worked out.
Yeah. Specifically.
Honestly, specifically. And then the funniest part is he posted on his social media. He
it's
put it
weird.
on social.
And I said PT in the studio.
Yeah, he put it. Christian, I walked outside. I saw the masseuse table. I started bursting out
It's
laughing.
not a masseuse table.
Yeah, it didn't make
It's
any
a
sense to me
physical
because
therapy.
Bursted out laughing.
Colin, you told me you had a sore shoulder, then all of a sudden I opened the
I did
door
not
and he's
say
working
sore
down
shoulder.
on your groin. I was
No,
like, what's
I
this
didn't say
about?
sore
That's
shoulder.
false
You're wrong.
advertising.
Yeah,
Things
you're wrong.
escalated, huh?
You're wrong. You're wrong there. I never said sore shoulder one time. You're wrong.
The next
Very clear that I had a groin injury.
next thing you know,
Yeah.
we're gonna. Next thing you know, Kyle's gonna, have surgery in the office or something on a bummed ankle.
So what they did, which would be awesome, by the way, but they set me up. They did like some stretching, trying to test it out, and he said it's strained, and he said I'll be okay, I think. But what he did too was we did the needling. You know the needles, like dry needling, sort of like acupuncture.
Kyle, I'm not a needle guy.
We did.
I can't do needles.
Yeah, we did acupuncture, and then what he did is he hooked it up like these, like you're kick-starting the battery of a car, like you're jump-starting. It wasn't like jumper cables, but it was something like that, where they had these little
And they shocked you?
wires to the attached to the needles, and he turns up it's like a stim machine, and he turns it up, and he's like, just let me know when it starts feeling like a little bit of like a slap on the leg, and he's like, I don't want it to go too high because it'll start to hurt. I'm like, what? And he starts going high, and lo and behold, it was like an electrical impulse consistently. And we're in the front of the studio, and AJ, who's one of our new interns, who's on day 2 of the job, walks out of the production room, who's working with Christian, working on some things, and he comes out, and I'm stimming the inner part of my leg with a physical therapist.
Episode of Mad Men.
Yeah,
you guys gotta be
honest
stopped,
to
John
God.
Hamm.
What are you going to be drinking whiskey in the office here soon?
Right.
You're going to be drinking whiskey coming up?
I don't know what the plan
I
is. But what I do know is that I got to be the first in history.
Christian,
I got to be the first. I love being the first in history to try something like that. That's great.
Christian, I'm interested to hear where you're at with needles because I have a really high pain tolerance, like high. But dude, if a needle, like, it doesn't hurt,
Blood
I don't
too?
No, I can handle blood. Dude, the sensation of getting I can't do it. I don't know how to explain it.
Wait, how about
the
this?
sensation of a
blood
needle.
drive, though.
So,
the needle is the problem, not the blood.
The needle is the problem, correct? And something I had because I've gone under the night, I've had procedures before. Do you want to know what bothered me to Kingdom Come was the IV? I hated it, like just a needle permanently there. I told my dad, I said, if I ever, like, God forbid, if I ever got significant.
Say no to the IV.
No, like, you'd have to sedate me on morphine or whatever. If there were a point where God forbid something happened to me and I had a ton of needles in me in a hospital, you'd have to put me on morphine.
Well,
you'd have to put because I would be flipping out, ripping stuff out of my arms.
So you need like a gas mask. That's what they need to knock you out, not the needle.
Dude,
The laughing gas is great. I've done that before. I can't remember why. It might have been when I had braces or something, and that's awesome.
Let's put things in perspective. I've seen my bone come out of my arm and not pass out before.
You've had a compound fracture?
Yeah, I was in 5th grade too, and I was awake in the ambulance, and the people in the ambulance are like, "You are an absolute." They were telling me
Probably
I was
in shock. You're definitely in shock.
Yeah, dude. But like I felt pain at a significant level numerous times, but like needles, boys, it's weird. I don't know the sensation. Like I can't look at it. Like when I draw blood at the hospital for like blood work and stuff, I cannot.
Yeah, I don't need to look at it either.
I cannot look.
It makes anybody a little queasy, and I'm not looking at that. But like it doesn't bother
cannot
me.
look. But like if I look at it, like I'll get flipped out.
888-760-3776. Ernie in Boynton Beach joining Russo and Rizzo. Ernie, welcome in. What do you got for us?
Okay, I called Christian because I came into my car. I came out for my physical therapy because I had an injury at work.
There he
long
is.
Story, make it short. No. But long story short, I'm doing physical therapy. So I jump in my car, and the first thing I hear is, "Oh, I hate him. I can't take needles." Rizzo, I am in the same boat as you, my friend. My phobia of needles is so grand. I love tattoos. I love the art of tattoos. But do you see a single anything in my body? No. I don't have nothing. And I don't have a Pokemon. I don't have a rainbow star. I don't have anything on my body. But I love the art. I cannot take needles. Long story short, I was young, 5 years old, 6, going to the dentist. They had to put me under. This dentist, for some reason, thought that it was a joke that I was phobic of needles. It took the doctor and 2 nurses to put me down, like hold me down, and my mom to slap me up and tell me to calm down, to tell me to, like, relax, because I was so hysterical. But no, I have a total phobia of needles. I can't stand them. I can't look at it. I'm like Fonzie. With him with liver, I am with needles. You show me a needle, I'll talk. I'll snitch. I'll do everything.
Wow, Ernie, so they held you down as a 5-year-old at the dentist because they thought it was a joke?
5-year-old, and it took
a 5-year-old, this is a joke that you're afraid of needles? A 5-year-old?
It's pretty nuts, Ernie.
A 5-year-old. I just don't like them. You know why? I tell you, deep story why I don't like needles. I grew up in New York City in the pandemic of the drug era, so I saw a lot of that kind of in my face, like people dead because of it, and that phobia really, like, it stuck to my head to the point that, like, needles and death, and it just really turned bad things in me. And ever since then, I just never liked needles, man. I just don't like needles, even now, because when I had the accident of my finger, I had to numb my finger, and I told the doctor with the straightest face, I said, "Doc, you by yourself are not going to put this needle in here with me. This is me right now. This is 3 weeks ago."
Go get security.
Said, "Do I need somebody?" I said, you're going to need 2 people. Somebody to hold me down, and then the other person, me not to punch you. And he goes, "Oh, all right, let me get some assistance." So I had a nurse hold my arm down, and I had to look away like a little kid. And I told him, I said, "I don't need to, that's happening. Just get it over with." Dude, it's true about phobias, man. I don't joke. I mean, people have weird phobias, aluminum, cotton balls, stuff like that. I don't joke with them. If they have their phobia with that stuff, I believe it, because I have a simple phobia of needles, man.
All right, good call, Ernie. Appreciate you chiming in. That's interesting. On, like, it's heebie-jeebies. The heebie-jeebies phobias, the things that makes your skin crawl. Not necessarily, being afraid of like a spider or something, but just something that's just unnecessarily, I can't deal with that. With needles, cotton balls is a good one. I think those styrofoam little peanuts that they have in boxes, I think those make me very uncomfortable. I understand that. 888-760-3776. If you got a weird one, let us know.
Yeah, it's nonetheless, it's just the sensation of the feeling of it. Like I don't need someone to come in and.
How are you with the arm? They're giving you the COVID vaccine. How is it with the arm? Or they're giving you a shot at your checkup. How do they do it?
Just don't look.
Flu shot. Do you get your flu shot every year?
No, God, no. I just don't, Kyle. I just don't look. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I don't need someone to come in and hold me down like Ernie, but I understand.
Ernie needs a straight jacket.
You know, Christian, I don't need someone, I'm good enough to where I could just look away, but if I look, like, do you want to know the issue? I get this sensation, like I'll still be thinking about that sensation 4 days later, like randomly throughout the day, I'll be like,
makes your skin crawl.
Yeah, like it's more like that. But I'm honest to God, boy, it's like, God forbid if something were to happen and I had to have multiple needles, like IVs and stuff. That's my nightmare. Like that's arguably a huge nightmare for me, is sitting in a hospital bed with a ton of needles in me.
888-760-3776. Queasy, heebie-jeebie type phobias. If you got a weird one, let us know. 888-760-3776. Christian, do you have one?
I've got one, and it goes by the name of potato salad.
Yeah.
I cannot stand. I look at a cold salad at a barbecue, and I want to throw up. When I was walking the aisles of ShopRite when I was about 8 years old in upstate New York, there's like the cold bar, like the semi in a grocery store, and I threw up all over ShopRite because I couldn't stand the look of it, the smell of it, the texture of it, how it sounds like mac and cheese, but it's not mac and cheese. Anything like potato salad, pasta salad, it just makes me nauseous just by looking at it and now thinking of it. I don't want to have dinner.
So it's like cold noodles and like cold. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Disgusting.
And you don't like. Now, on the same token, Christian doesn't really like eggs either. Eggs is kind of.
Is this a texture thing that you have?
Yeah, that's it.
That shouldn't be that way.
Because you've told us before you don't like mashed potatoes for the same reason, right?
Yeah, I'm more permissible with mashed potatoes where I don't consider it a phobia, a fear. I just don't seek it out and want it, but I'm afraid of pasta salad.
You'll eat French fries, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's kind of like mashed potatoes.
Slimy. Oh, disgusting.
It's a texture. I think it's a texture thing.
Big time.
Maybe the smell of it, and I like my hot food hot and my cold food cold. And pasta is a hot food.
Interesting. When I was a child, bananas had that thing with me. Was it a texture thing with the bananas?
We did a show on bananas. No wonder you hate them.
Now I'm okay. Now, as a child, I just never agreed with them. I'm fine with them now.
But like you even said like you didn't.
Yeah, me and them, we reconciled a couple years ago.
I said a banana was underrated, and you nearly lost your mind on me, but I understand the point. Maybe that's why now. That I understand that.
Maybe it's some unresolved childhood trauma.
You got defensive.
Yeah, you got a little defensive. And you guys don't like peanut butter, which is insanity. I could eat a jar.
Yeah, I don't have a phobia of peanut butter.
Yeah, you do.
Phobia.
Yeah, you do. I can eat
don't have you're misinterpreting a phobia versus a dislike.
The Peter Pan whipped. Now, it can't have chunks in it, but the Peter Pan whipped peanut butter, I could eat the whole jar.
You're misinterpreting a phobia versus not liking it. I didn't grow up in a peanut butter household.
Now, Christian, from everything he told me, you should not like pickles. Am I correct on this?
Oh, me? You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you from everything because cold, slimy, slushy,
pickles
texture.
don't do much for me either. So I could agree with that.
Christian, I could eat a whole jar.
Bread and butter pickles, but I don't have the same phobia with pickles. No.
Now, I'm to the point where I like the mini dills. I could eat a whole jar of that. I like the slices. I like it all.
Yeah, pickles don't do much for me.
I could drink pickle juice, too. I could drink it.
Yeah, that doesn't do much.
I could drink it.
That doesn't do much for me.
Love it.
It really doesn't. I don't know. I'm fine with it on a burger or a sandwich, something like that. But, like, I don't need it.
Do you want to know what I am on it? Don't put it on the burger. Give me the slice on the side. I'll take a bite, and then I'll take a bite of my pickle.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's not for me. I don't know. That's a weird one. We got to get you to a blood drive that conquer this fear.
Please, no.
Conquer this fear.
No.
Big red truck, is that what they call
Riz.
it when they come around?
No.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago, when I was not very financially well off, to make some cash, you donate plasma. You make some cash.
I did
Needle
that in
in
college.
the arm
That's
twice
weird.
a week.
You would hate this. You would hate this.
No, thank you, guys.
Christian, did they give you the debit card that they fill up with cash? A separate
Oh,
debit
yeah.
card?
I still have
No.
a couple
Do
in
you
my
wanna-
car.
Do you want to know what I would do if my blood was needed for a friend or a family member? I'd do it.
I would hope.
I'd do it.
If a friend was on the deathbed, I think you'd have to get over yourself. When
I'm
you know what I'm
thinking
saying?
I would do it.
I
ER
guess blood
drama.
transfused and to
I
save
guess-
a family member.
I guess-
I'd hope you'd give some blood.
Yeah, for sure. Be positive. You guys have any of you guys be positive?
I don't know.
It's your boy.
I don't know.
You don't know your blood type?
No.
No.
Me neither.
What?
Test it when I need it.
No,
That's not a huge problem.
no, dude. Like, you guys need to know your blood type.
And the thing is, I've done blood drives before. I just don't remember. I don't know.
Guys, I'm not crazy for this. I promise you. It should be common knowledge that you know your blood type.
With how much
Text
water
your
I
mother.
drink, it comes out like Jell-O instead. I don't think my blood's doing anyone any good.
Christian, no, hang on. How about this? How about this?
blood.
It is, and for those of you that don't know, it is a known fact on this show on Russo and Rizzo. Christian Cat does not drink water. Colin and I are astounded he's still alive at like 26 years old, however you are, Christian. But I saw a cup of water, and I knew it wasn't mine. Like where I put our table where we put our drinks because we can't take drinks into the studio. I got a water bottle now, so I use my water bottle. And I saw a cup sitting there. I'm like, Colin has a water bottle. I have a water bottle. Theo's not here yet. I look at Christian across the hall. I go, did you pour a cup of water? I just started. We both started dying laughing.
No, it wasn't his.
It was his.
Oh, good for
He
you,
did.
Christian.
He
I
did.
gotta be
Baby
honest.
steps.
I gotta be
Baby
honest,
steps.
Rizzo. That cup is still just as full as it was when I
You
put
did
it
take
down.
a sip.
It's
You did
it's
take
a
it.
vanity water. I have anxiety, and sometimes I'll walk around the office looking for someone. I'll make the right hand turn into the kitchen, and the person I'm looking for is not there,
So you
but
need
somebody
to do something
else
with your hands.
is.
You need to do something with your hands.
So I'll walk in there and act like I had a mission accomplished and take a water, fill
And
it up.
instead of drinking the water, you're such a strange
Instead of looking-
individual.
yeah, Christian-
Instead of drinking the water because
Hold
it's
on.
already there.
Hold
you're
on.
just wasting it at that point.
Yeah, that too, but hold on. Instead of looking at the people in the kitchen and going, have you seen so-and-so? Christian impulsively grabs a cup
Christian's
and fills
like
up a
looking
cup
in
of
the
water
fridge.
that he
He's going to
doesn't
start
have.
putting together a sandwich with other people's food because he's got to do something so it doesn't look weird with the person that's in the kitchen.
Yes, especially when I peer around the corner and we lock eyes. Maybe it's me and someone else, not the person I'm looking for. I can't break it to them
Oh,
that
now I got to do something. Like you throw a cake in the oven. You start,
Yes.
mixing together the batter. How you doing? You good? I'm just doing something over
Yeah.
here. Throwing something in the oven. Wow. Interesting. So we got to get Mike to a blood drive. We got to get Christian to a barbecue and say,
Listen, don't
no
act
hot
like I'm
dogs
some
and burgers.
Don't act like I'm some
I'm not saying- that's
monster
not a
and
crazy
won't
one.
donate.
But we got to conquer it.
I will, but here's the thing. If someone came up to me and said, we could use some blood, I'll donate it. I just prefer
Because to Christian's point, the
you
plasma
know.
thing did help me get over that. I didn't necessarily have a major problem with it, but he did. The plasma thing is weird. Because you're cooked up and it's all blood coming out, and then it goes up and it spins in this machine.
Dude.
And then after a little bit, it rotates, and then it pumps you back with your previous blood. And then it pumps you up with an IV fluid that's ice cold. It's
Yes.
very strange. And then they pay you $100. And then
boys, Christian, I'm knocking on wood. I've never fainted, but the closest I ever came to fainting was a school blood drive. Because we were all our whole basketball team donated blood one day. It was a whole thing. We did it, and I remember. And that's when I made the decision that I can't watch the needle go in my arm anymore. That was the closest because they were like, "All right, hold on, wait a minute." It didn't happen, but it almost did.
you're like John Bernthal in Punisher. What is the meme?
Yes,
Wait.
I almost, Christian. I was like my eyes were starting to roll back, and everyone's like, "Oh, hold them up!" And they held me up, and I didn't faint, but that was the closest I ever came to
Interesting.
fainting. Have you guys ever fainted,
I don't think so.
Christian?
I did it on purpose once. There was this thing called the
So
frog.
no, all right. Talk about. There's no
Christian
faint.
walked around the corner in the kitchen, and he realized he had to do something, so he fainted.
You guys ever see
No.
Pirates of the Caribbean? Elizabeth Swan pretending to faint.
No,
you went full Elizabeth Swan for
there
Pirates
is
of the Caribbean.
I did faint. Have you ever heard of the frog challenge? It's a horrible thing. And if you're listening right now and you hear kids mention it, make sure you talk some sense into them. But there's a way to purposely make yourself faint in terms of affecting your breathing, sucking on your thumb. There's a way to do it. Yeah.
So
Okay, so you could make yourself. You just wanted to test out an experiment.
Yeah, we were doing it in high school, and they had to have an assembly, and they told us to knock it off because we were doing it in the middle of class. And then I didn't do it in class. I did the sensible thing in doing it in the comfort of my own bedroom.
In passing time.
Where I
okay.
smacked the back of my head, apparently on something, because I woke up with a screaming headache. And, yeah.
Wow, interesting.
yeah, hey guys, please don't make yourself.
Yeah, way to
faint
promote
like
that.
Christian
Way to
Cat,
promote that
okay?
to the airwaves, Christian.
I
That's Mike Rizzo.
don't
Go
endorse
ahead.
it.
He don't. Oh, he does not endorse it. Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, Colin Russo, Amerant Bank Arena for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup. We got a watch party with the Florida Panthers crew. They're up in Edmonton for Game 1 tonight. They'll be back here for Game 3, but doesn't mean we're not having a good time. Doesn't mean we're not going to start the party here momentarily. You got Theo Dorsey who's going to be doing specialty programming from 6 to 7:30 p.m. right here on ESPN 106.3. You could also listen to the game itself right here on ESPN 106.3, also on the ESPN app as well. We're going to do a little 5 and 5. We'll do that on the flip side. First, I got to tell you, start your day off with a victory. Go to F45 West Palm Beach. F45, it's more the functional side of working out. So if you're somebody like me who's sort of trying to adjust and just worried about getting your heart rate up, getting a sweat going, and more importantly, feeling good about starting your day or finishing your day, F45 has you covered. Class style throughout the morning and through the afternoon as well. 2 coaches on site, a bunch of like-minded young or older too, honestly, fitness individuals that go, and they're just looking to have a good time. Loud music's blaring. You just follow along the workouts on the screen. You're in and out. You blink, and it's over. Sort of turn your brain off and just feel good about your body coming out because you're more flexible coming out of it. You're stronger coming out of it. You got your cardiovascular health, the whole thing. Aerobically, it hits every single box. It checks every single box. That's F45. Find a studio near you online at F45. Check out their Instagram, F45 Downtown West Palm Beach, and get your first 3 classes for just $30. F45, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
This is ESPN 106.3, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Find official rules for all your favorite ESPN West Palm contests by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3, the ESPN app, and streaming on your smart speaker.
Summer is heating up, and so are the St. Lucie Mets. Clover Park is the top summer destination for sports fans looking to get the most bang for their buck in June and July. Be there for all the excitement on the field and in the stands. Saturday, June 7th is Faith Night with post-game fireworks and a concert. June 19th through the 21st is Military Appreciation Weekend. The biggest and best fireworks show on the Treasure Coast is coming to Clover Park on Thursday, July 3rd. Tickets are on sale now at stluciemets.com. See you at the ballpark this summer.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
It's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and ESPN 106.3 is your home for the Stanley Cup Final. The Panthers, the Oilers, live, streaming everywhere, and on the air, Lord Stanley lives here. Tonight, it's Game 1. We go live to Edmonton at 7:30 here on ESPN 106.3.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, with the tariffs that are coming in, the last of the pre-tariff materials with air conditioning units, they're starting to finally come in. The last batch are really starting to come in, and you're starting to see shifts in actual material pricing. Because of this, almost all AC systems, they have components that are made overseas, and therefore, these prices are going to start to rise here pretty soon. With the summer months here in South Florida, you want to make sure your systems are up to date. You got to go to John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing to capitalize on their pre-tariff parts and systems, which their prices are still up to date. You got to make sure you do it now because it's getting hot in South Florida, and if you need an update, you need an upgrade, you need a check, that's what John C. Cassidy has to offer. They've been proudly serving Palm Beach County since 1960. They keep your home cool and comfortable, and they are highly trained technicians can come to your home. They can troubleshoot, they can perform diagnostic checks on your system. It doesn't even matter the brand or the age. Visit CassidyAC.com for more information. And they're the locally serviced and produced options, which is why you should support them. They support organizations like the YMCA, the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. Visit CassidyAC.com for more information. That's John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, live from Amarant Bank Arena for the watch party of Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Oilers and the Panthers, 8 p.m. on TNT there. We got Christian Cat helping us out. Let's bounce around a little bit. Let's do a little 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
The Vikings had a great year last year. Went to the playoffs under the quarterback play of Sam Darnold. Well, in 2025, things are going to be a little bit different. Darnold's gone. He went to Seattle. It's now the J.J. McCarthy show for Minnesota. Here's what NFL insider Ross Tucker had to report about J.J. McCarthy's perception within the building.
No matter what the Vikings say about J.J. McCarthy and how much they love him and, he's the guy, they wanted Darnold back. And then when they weren't going to get Darnold back, they wanted Daniel Jones back, right? And they were offering these guys pretty darn good money. So as much as they're sold on J.J. McCarthy, they weren't that sold.
Is that something or is that nothing? Ross Tucker talking about J.J. McCarthy's 2025 Viking season.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I could argue, I could get on board with the Darnold thing. because you could have front-loaded Darnold's contract similar to what Seattle did. Seattle got a very team-friendly contract with him. And you could have went another year or two with Darnold and then shifted to McCarthy. As for the Daniel Jones thing, they only wanted Daniel Jones for insurance. And Daniel Jones is a perfect backup quarterback. He's a top probably 4 backup quarterback in the National Football League. That's more about being a backup. And what? They won 14 games last year. I know he stunk in the last 2 games of the year against the Lions and the Rams, but that is still somebody that the team resonated with, that the team loved. He wasn't the only guy who played poorly in those games. It was the offensive line, too. It was basically everybody else. So from that perspective, I understand why they wanted him back. They offered him back. But I think this is probably the best long-term way for the Vikings to move forward. Would they have liked a little Daniel Jones insurance? Probably. Do I think this is anything to say about J.J. McCarthy? No, because they haven't seen him play. So a lot of pressure's on him, but it's not necessarily a conclusion of what they think of him as a player because they haven't seen him as a player.
Yeah, and for everything Colin said about him being an unknown, that's where I fall under this. Obviously, I think it's something. I think it's something because we haven't seen him play. I think it's something because you haven't seen him take an NFL snap in a meaningful game. I understand preseason game and whatever, but you need to see him take a meaningful snap in order to know if he is the guy or not. And I'm not surprised maybe the locker room or even people in the front office maybe wanted Darnold back. You won 14 games last year, right? You won 14 games, Christian. I understand that they dropped the ball in the playoffs.
And they loved him.
Yeah. But 14 games is something to be said there. I think it's something just because you haven't seen J.J. McCarthy play. Now, if the Vikings start off 3-0, 4-0, I'm sure everyone's going to be waxing poetically about, this is the right move. Let's give it some time. Let's let J.J. play. I'm a J.J. McCarthy guy. I have a ton of buddies who think McCarthy was the system guy in Michigan. I actually think the kid can play. I'm excited to see what he can do for the Vikings next year.
Number 2.
Last night, Paul Skeens did what Paul Skeens does. Of course, that young ace in the Pirates. He squared off with the first-place Astros, 8 innings pitched. 3 hits, just 1 earned run on a solo shot, and he got charged with the loss. Final score, Astros 3, Pirates 0. Paul Skeens has now only allowed 19 earned runs in 13 starts this year. The Pirates have lost 8 of those 13 games. Is there a bigger diamond in the rough in sports than one Paul Skeens?
He's getting the DeGrom treatment. That's what it is. I mean, DeGrom was even more dominant than him, and DeGrom dealt with this too. So this is what he has to deal with now. He has to deal with an offensive team that is going to give you 0 run support. The Seattle Mariners dealt with this for the last 4 years. Finally starting to figure it out. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that the Pirates can't even at least show up to play when they know he's on the mound because you can guarantee that you're going to have an opportunity to win the game. They have no consistency with their bats. They can't provide any offense. And Paul Skeens now is going to get the Jacob deGrom treatment. Now, the thing is, wins and losses is not a pitcher's stat, in my opinion. It is a team thing. You can't necessarily equate that to how good or bad they are. You can only do the other statistics. And the other statistics tell you that Paul Skeens is pretty freaking good. And he's great, if even. So, because of that, he's just going to have to deal with a poor win-loss record like DeGrom did.
Christian Skeens is unreal. The problem is they have one major league bat in that lineup in O'Neal Cruz. Let's give Andrew McCutchen some credit. Guy who was an all-time great. Not a Hall of Famer, though. But O'Neal Cruz is the only major league bat. I'm not shocked at all that Skeens won 8 innings. They let him go 99 pitches, too. I think there's something to be said about that. Skeens will be a Yankee in 5 years, 6 years. He'll be all right. Garrett Cole, what pathway is he on? Cole went to the Pirates, he went to the Astros, and then to the Yankees. I think Skeensy is going to skip the whole Astros thing and just go right to the Yankees, make $1 billion, and probably win a World Series.
Number 3.
Let's stay in baseball because our Miami Marlins got swept by the worst baseball team of all time. Yes, the nail was in the coffin. They lost today again before we even got on the airwaves. Final score, Rockies 3, Marlins 2. That completes the sweep for the Colorado Rockies over the Marlins. Can it get any worse than that in sports?
Oh, my God.
Hang on, quickly. Good for the Rockies.
I mean, I guess.
Good for the Rockies.
With about 48 hours ago, We were rating on their parade being
for
9-50, and now they're 12-50.
Good for them.
What was the number? They need to go 31-72 to finish with 40 wins. Now they need to go 28-72. All right, now it's getting a little bit more doable. You need to get to 40 wins if you're the Rockies. And what a joke for Miami. I'm sure they sold a grand total of 850 tickets throughout those 3 games. So nobody shows up, number one. And number two, losing in that type of fashion. They were close games, too. 6-4, 3-2, 3-2, I want to say.
Yep.
And losing in close fashion to as bad of a team as you could possibly find in the Colorado Rockies. It's laughable. It's laughable. And if you were to, come up with a team that would get swept by the Rockies this year, 2 teams would come to mind. The Miami Marlins, the Chicago White Sox. Those are the 2 teams that are just capable, based on their luck, to get swept by the Rockies. The A's might, too, at this point as well.
There are some bad teams in baseball right now. That's I'm not going to sit here and grill the Marlins for getting swept.
What are they? 10 games under the 500.
They're 23-37.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. No one expected the Fish to compete for anything this year. No one expected the Pirates to compete. But so the conversation we talked about yesterday. God, are the teams in the MLB that are bad? Like, and it comes down to the culture. I broke it down into the 3 things: the culture, the ownership, and kind of the stigmatism with the team. And all those teams we just talked about in Pittsburgh, Miami, and the Rockies have all had the stigmatism the last decade that they're a bad team. With a couple of seasons from Giancarlo Stanton, it's been pretty bad for the Marlins as well.
I got to give a lot of credit to the Colorado Rockies social media administrator. They sent out the tweet today. Wins since June 2nd, Colorado Rockies, 3. Scotty Scheffler, 0.
Nice.
And Christian and Colin, I want to get your opinion on this too. Those purple jerseys are cool. I think the Rockies have cool jerseys. Their home jerseys with the pinstripes are nice. Their City Connect jersey, it's probably not called that, might be called that. Their alternative jersey's really cool too.
Yeah, it's a well-branded franchise. There's no doubt about that.
I just,
no, well-branded.
I hope they can turn it around because they've been dreadful for so long.
Turn it around. 23
5 years.
The goal is 40,
5 years.
40 wins, Mike.
They got to find their Arenado Story Cargo lineup.
They need to go 28-72. That's the idea.
2018, they made the playoffs.
Number 4.
90-win team, but black.
On the Dan Patrick Show, Derrick Henry showed his face, and Derrick Henry kind of looked at the background of Dan Patrick and saw a piece of memorabilia from the Happy Gilmore 2 shootings, and it really caught Derrick Henry's attention. Of course, running back for the Baltimore Ravens, had a great year last year. Here's what Derrick Henry had to say about Adam Sandler.
Okay, cool. I'm a huge fan.
Okay. And you get to 2,000 yards, I'll get you in a Sandler movie.
All right, cool. Say no more.
Is that all right?
Remember that now. You remember this? Remember that?
No. I'll take care of my end of it.
Okay.
I mean, mine's easy.
Yeah.
Yours is hard. You got to get 2,000 yards.
Say no more.
No pressure.
Bet is on. No pressure at all.
All right.
So the gauntlet's been laid down. If Derrick Henry goes for 2,000 yards this year, he will appear in an Adam Sandler movie. If you were laid down a challenge, Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, where you had to accomplish something of the sort, maybe it's your career, maybe it's something else, and you could appear in one actor's movies or franchise of movies, what movie would you want to appear in?
What actor or what movie?
I mean, Adam Sandler verse, you could go into something fantasy-wise where Rizzo is wielding a lightsaber, anything.
Christian, can I dream for a second?
Oh, God.
That's why we're doing this segment.
I want to be a champion of a region in Pokemon. I want to be the champion of a region in Pokemon.
Worse than I
thought.
I
want to be
one of the regional tournaments.
There's 8. I'm not going to bore everybody, but there's 8 regions, and each region has a champion.
Wait.
The new region, I want to be the champion.
Wait, so I'm not asking you what you want to accomplish. I'm asking you what movie you want to appear in.
I want to appear in Pokemon and be the champion of the new region that's coming out in 2 years.
Okay.
And I want my ace to be Greninja and Dragonite.
It's funny that Dan Patrick is promoting, saying, hey, Derek, if you want to be in an Adam Sandler movie, I can make it happen. Has he watched any Adam Sandler movie recently?
Well, he's been in them, no.
Well, they stink. They have stunk. And Uncut Gems wasn't that good either. Hustle was pretty good. But Adam Sandler movies have not had
You watch your mouth about Adam Sandler. He is an all-time great.
I agree. I
He
love
is an
Adam
all-time
Sandler's old
great,
stuff.
Kyle. That guy's a
Post
legend.
grown-ups, post Just Go With It, we haven't had a lot. McQueen is fading, they said in Cars 3. Sandler is fading.
So you don't want to be the bad guy in Mission Impossible 11, Colin?
I would be in a Tom Cruise movie. Good call. Good call. That gives me a great one. I would love to do a Tom Cruise movie and do some wild stunt with him. That would be my fun one.
I'm
that
seeing
would
the
be my pick.
behind the scenes on how this helicopter was like towing this plane, and he was not having a parachute. Like, he's still doing all his own stunts, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a psycho. He's a psycho. But he does it for the good. He does it to put butts in seats, and I can respect that.
What do you call him?
He's the president of movies. He's the CEO of movies, and he is. Mike, have you not seen him hang off that plane?
Listen, it's impressive, Christian.
No, Mike. A single-engine plane
Christian,
above South Africa.
I gotta get with you and Dave to make a hockey on this show. The president of movies. That's an unreal. That's an elite title. That's an elite.
He's the
title.
president of who is?
That's an elite.
It's
title.
not. He's not. It's not Dwayne the Rock Johnson. It's Tom Cruise.
It's
not Leo.
I like DiCaprio, but
Leo's not the CEO of movies.
Why?
Leo is
Why,
sold
though?
because he's been in a bunch of movies that have went right to streaming. And Killers of the Flower Moon went right to Apple TV. That was not a big time.
It's the back end of his career, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. A good movie.
Like when he was in his prime, he wasn't going straight to DVD.
How about this? When's the last time Leo hung out of a plane?
I wouldn't hang on. I
Recently?
All he does is get killed by a bear. That's all he does.
And I cannot.
A fake bear. Tom Cruise would find a real one.
And Christian,
Like a
Christian,
bead?
Find a real one.
I cannot believe that was the movie he won. Help me out.
The Revenant.
But what did he win?
Best actor.
Thank you. I can't believe that was the award. Out of all the movies that Leo has been in, The Departed, the fact he didn't win in The Departed is a disgrace.
I don't even know if he was nominated.
That's it. Well, that's an absolute disgrace. I guarantee you go back and search whatever year when the fish person was making out with a chick, okay? That probably won it that year.
The Shape
okay?
of Water?
I can't take Hollywood serious.
Cinema
with some
Talk
of
with
these
Michael Rizzo.
I can't take it serious with some of these nominations,
one thing
man.
with the fish person making out with the lady. The one thing is The Departed did win Best Picture that year.
Okay.
2006.
Yeah, I just, with some of the movies, I was never really locked in like you were, Kyle, but like when I really liked a movie and I wanted to see it do good, that's when I would tune in. And some of these movies, it's like, what?
Which is why I thought it was a good palate cleanser that Oppenheimer swept the awards last year. Because Oppenheimer dominated. I would be, if I could say I'd be in a Chris Nolan movie, would that be fair?
Ooh, yeah.
I'd be in a Chris
Give me a
Nolan
Chris
movie
Nolan
over a Tom movie.
movie.
The Dark Knight,
Oh, okay.
Inception,
Okay. Yeah.
Interstellar,
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Oppenheimer.
I know all of them. I just
The
needed
Prestige.
I needed to put a name to the.
Big cinephile.
Yeah, I needed to put
Yeah,
a name
we're
to the
working on
movie.
Chris Nolan movie would be big time.
Okay.
And you know what he's making right now? He's making The Odyssey. Homer's The Odyssey.
Oh wow.
Homer's The
Now
Odyssey.
you got my attention.
$225 million budget. Only he could do a movie.
Now
like
you
that.
got my attention.
Next summer,
dude.
Matt Damon is Odyssey.
Can we get our tickets now?
Wait, is that the Shakespeare?
Wait, Matt Damon?
It's not. Matt Damon is the
Screaming.
lead. Matt
I'm
Damon's
screaming.
the lead.
Sorry.
Yeah, Matt Damon's
Yeah.
the lead.
Let's get our. Can we get our tickets now?
Next July it comes out. So.
Dude, I'm getting the whole pop. I'm getting you.
He's been filming it on site. He's been going to a bunch of places where people have no. He's in south of Italy. He's in the caves and stuff like that.
Now, Christian, how about this? I'm gonna make a plan to go to a movie with Colin, but Colin is gonna hate going to a movie with me.
We're gonna sit 3 seats away from each
Because I'm gonna spend $100 at the concession stand and eat the entire film.
You know what the problem is? You're gonna go to an IMAX movie. You're gonna spend $30 for a ticket.
Like I said, I'm gonna spend $100 at the movie, and Colin is just
unethical.
Colin is just gonna
It's like an amusement park, and you're getting the Six Flags T-shirt. Mike, Jesus,
Colin is
don't
just
get the Six Flags T-shirt.
Colin is just gonna keep looking over in absolute disgust that he's at a movie theater.
Rizzo, you're not just going to buy it. You're also going to get it delivered to your seat. I've seen movie theaters do that.
In the middle of
Christian,
the theater.
I'm not.
We got the pizza. There was a guy. I saw a movie on Friday. I saw that
Christian,
godforsaken
I'm not
Karate
like
Kid
that.
movie. I saw that godforsaken.
It was terrible, huh? I told you it'd be bad.
Karate Kid. It was basically like the end game of Karate Kid. Oh, it was awful.
I told you it was going to be bad.
I know.
Anyway.
I had to go see it. There was a guy next to me who had a full pizza, and he had it delivered to the seat. Dude, a full pizza. Oh my God!
You're not even allowed to do that. Did the pizza come from the movie theater?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So maybe you are allowed.
It was delivered to his seat.
No, Christian, I'm not that guy.
It was. Oh, that was
like you gotta. I'm not.
That was ridiculous, dude. You don't need a pizza.
I have some dignity, Christian. I will walk to the concession stand, gladly hand my money over to the clerk, and carry my stuff to the seats. Gladly.
We've got actually one more for you.
Number 5.
Well, out of order, non-sports, back to sports. Well, it's a final, another baseball game that ended earlier on in the day. The Red Sox walked it off against the Los Angeles A's. And it ended like this.
With one out. And a fly down the right field line. That one heading toward the stands. And that's going to be a fair ball. And that ball is gone. It's out of here. He tucked it in there. And he walks it off. Cedar Rafaela with a home run.
Yes, Rafaela hits a 308-foot walk-off home run, sneaking it through the pesky pole. You also had another home run last night from Jazz Chisholm, who just parked it in the front row of the short porch at Yankee Stadium. My proposal is every single Major League ballpark should be the same exact dimensions like every other sport.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I
I think baseball, I think that adds to the beauty of it because players used to play at the Polo Grounds. And the idea that stadiums can change, stadiums are different, I think adds to the history of baseball. If you're going to regulate it, I think you'd lose a little bit of the randomness.
Now, Christian, this is surprising coming from a Yankee fan. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I'm tired of the complaining. Tired of the complaining whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm tired of the complaining about Judge because Judge is just as good on the road as he is at home.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not sitting here saying Judge. I'm just sick of going to that stadium with my team going to Yankee Stadium and having a home run like that happen. It never happens for us. God forbid it happens for us a couple of times, but it's my scars from Yankee Stadium, honest to God, to where I agree with Christian. Let's get some feet. 400 all around. 400 feet all around.
It doesn't make any why is this the one sport where what if you went on a road trip to Minnesota and wait a second, they play with 145-yard fields here. You can't go 100. No. In a basketball arena, yeah, they actually raise the rims to 12 feet here, in case you didn't know. But it's fine because it's the same for both teams. They're both shooting on those hoops. It's ridiculous.
And there might be something poetic to Colin's point about.
It's historical.
It's historical, poetic. My God, the Red Sox had the Green Monster. You know what I mean? In order to hit a home run, you got to hit it over that thing. You know what I mean? So, I am like this because of Yankee Stadium.
That was our 5-5 presented by Flagler Credit Union. Of course, Mike and I are going to have you for the early part of our specialty programming of Stanley Cup Game 1 between the Oilers and the Panthers from 6 to 7:30. Us and Theo Dorsey will take you basically up to pregame, which you could hear the full game actually right here on ESPN 106.3 as well. That was our 5-5. We'll close out the program of Russo and Rizzo next on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Wing Wednesday, brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com. Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida, we got Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Panthers and the Oilers, a rematch from last year in which the Panthers triumphantly won in 7 games after going up 3-0. Oilers rumbling back to make it 3-3, and then the Panthers winning Game 7, of course, last year. Oilers get their second lick. We'll see if they'll be able to punch a little bit harder this time, punch a little bit earlier. They got home ice. Of course, the first game and the second game will be up in Edmonton. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, of course. Colin Russo with you, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat on ESPN 106.3. If you missed any of the program today, again, go listen back on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. We'll go to Russo and Rizzo. You can listen to full shows live. And you get the Stanley Cup tonight. You get the NBA Finals starting tomorrow. You get baseball through and through. You get the French Open quarterfinals that are closing out today into the semifinals through the weekend. Yeah, I can have a little fun with this. You got the Club FIFA World Cup coming up. Hard Rock Bet has got you covered there.
Absolutely. And obviously with the playoffs, folks, it's win or go home. But not for new customers on Hard Rock Bet. If your first bet does not win, you could get a bonus bet back up to $100 to try again. Also, ready to make every rebound and every point and assist mean even more? Or what about every goal, shot, and save? No matter what sport you prefer, Hard Rock Bet has it. Makes it easy to bet on the finals, the Stanley Cup, the Club FIFA World Cup coming up. Are our Panthers going to repeat? Or is Edmonton going to get their revenge? Whether you're backing the champs, loyal to the oil, or just a neutral, Hard Rock Bet is Florida's only legal sportsbook to bet the rematch up until the cup is hoisted. So download that Hard Rock Bet app today, folks. Check out the Battle of the Bets, too. That has been heating up significantly. Colin and I will take a look at a couple of that stuff coming up tonight. But you know me, too. I am football guy. I am soccer guy. I can't wait for the Club FIFA World Cup, and I'm going to be gambling with my good friends at Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and physically present in the state of Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you're concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. That is 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
I'd like for you guys to have a little homework this weekend. You guys should watch the French Open semifinal and then finals this weekend.
What time?
It will be in the morning, early afternoon.
Wait.
On Saturday, on Friday and Sunday.
What are we talking about?
The French Open.
I will not watch a second.
What do you mean?
I'm not watching tennis. I love you to death.
It's on Max on a Friday.
Colin, you know I love you.
I have my first ever competitive golf tournament to play into on Sunday.
Oh, wow. Good luck, dude. That's going to be awesome.
What type of golf tournament is this?
I honestly don't. I have no idea. All I know is that I'm riding with someone who's a scratch golfer, and I, as you guys know, am anything but. So I am scared bleepless. I don't even know. Ball? I have no idea. I know nothing about it. I just know there is money at stake. So I'm terrified.
Is there a buy-in?
No, I somehow got a granted entry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. I'm going to the driving range tomorrow, playing a practice round Friday, another driving range on Saturday. Yeah.
When's the last time you played competitively against somebody?
I played against Cade Chumslin, who you see on ESPN West Palm play over the weekend. Gave me a couple of strokes, couple of being generous. Gave me 20 strokes. I beat him.
Okay. Interesting. So you got a big tournament coming up this weekend, so you can't watch you could have it on in between your shots on the phone on HBO Max.
That'd be a good idea. The smart speaker.
That's what you could do. And set it up, and you could talk to the guy about the tennis, and then you could start to learn his name that way.
Keep him updated.
That's Christian Cat, Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo. We're live from Amerant Bank Arena. We'll be back at it just after this short break for some specialty programming leading right up to Game 1. Theo Dorsey will also be there. You can stick around for it. It'll be a whole lot of fun right here on ESPN 106.3.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs. Time to start getting your ride ready for summer. Stop by the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs and try out one of our best wash packages, the Ultimate Plus. It gives you everything your car needs, inside and out, including our ceramic graphene coating. Or try one of our unlimited monthly plans, starting as low as $34.99